Welcome to the Blasian Titan Nation podcast, episode 2. Jane, I see you. Jen, I see you. Thank you very much for hopping in early. This is going to be a doozy, as you seen from the title. Going to be talking about my life growing up as a Blasian. I wouldn't say that it was the most glorious life. I'm going to let you all know that there was a lot of confusion, a lot of identity crisis, and a lot of learning about myself. It's hard enough that I grew up without a father. And let me know if my audio is doing good. Let me know if everything is okay, because again, I can't hear myself when I'm doing this, but I just wanted to in Jane's life growing up biracial, yeah, because out of all the people, I bet you can feel this, Jane. When it comes down to it, when you grow up with two different types of parents, two different parents from two completely different backgrounds, you're not set on who you are. You don't know who you are, especially back in the days in the 90s. Growing up in the 90s as a Blasian, I didn't even know the term Blasian or mixed person until I got to high school. I mean, that's a big gap right there. I thought I was one of the black kids. Yeah. You already know this episode's going to speak to you. You're excited? I know you are. Just chill out, relax, have a snack, get some water. And this is gonna be a doozy. This is gonna be a rough one for me. This is a very personal one for me, because I have gone through it. I've gone through the whole mixed identity thing, as a kid growing up. I'll just start. I'm going to start from the very beginning. Okay? I'm going to start from the very beginning. And I'm just going to let everybody know, whoever is listening, my life. Okay? Yeah. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. I mean, to everybody who is mixed race, biracial, whatever, Blasian, who is listening to this, just know that you're not alone. Just know that you're not alone. When it comes to identity crisis and mixed race problems, because I've gone through them. People such as Jane has gone through them. And at the end of the day, when you grow up to be an adult, all that identity shit that you've gone through earlier in life, it doesn't matter. For me, it was, am I black or not? Because I didn't look Filipino. I didn't look like a Filipino or a stereotypical Filipino person. I didn't have the culture of a Filipino. I didn't speak Tagalog. When I was a kid, I grew up in Canada. Like, Canada was my thing. I didn't know anything but English. I didn't know anything but English. And the only time I've learned Tagalog is when my mom brought my kuya, who she had in a previous relationship, over from Philippines to here. That's when I learned Tagalog. By the way, kuya is a Tagalog word for brother, older brother. So, let's go back. Let's just go back. I'm just gonna have a drink of water, and I hope everybody whoever is listening to this is just hanging out and chilling out and, relaxing. And hopefully you get to learn something about me. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Maury? We just chilling out. We just chilling out. Oh, grand opening, grand closing. Okay, take care. Take care. Take care. Hopefully have a good one. I just wanted to. Oh, it's going fine. Okay. Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully everything's going good. If you want to just learn, I'm just telling everybody right now about my life growing up as a Blasian mixed biracial person. So if you wanna chill out and listen, feel free. So I want to go back, and I want to go back to the early 90s. I want to go back to when I was born. All right? I want to go all the way back to when I was born, and I'm going to show you real quick my parents. Okay? I've never shown my parents on stream, by the way. Not even my father. My mother, maybe. But my dad, I don't think I've ever shown on stream. And on the podcast, anybody who is listening, if you're able to watch this on YouTube, feel free to watch it on YouTube or anywhere that has video, because I will be showing my mom and my dad real quick. All right, I'm just gonna point let me see if I can find the photo. Because they met at church. They met because my dad was Christian, my mom is Christian. She used to be a Catholic, but then she converted to Christianity, and that's how they met. So, but they had kids previously. They had kids before. My mom had kids in the Philippines, and my dad had kids, I think, in Trinidad? I am not sure. But they had kids. They had kids previously. Okay? So, right here, I don't know if y'all can see that, but, gosh, the ring light, it's covering it. But obviously, the woman on your left, my left, your right, is my mom. In the middle is me. And then on my right, your left is my dad. Okay. So those are my parents. Obviously, dad was black. My dad was black. Like, you know how there's different types of Trinis? Like, you got Chinese Trinis, you got Indian Trinis. My dad was a black Trini. I didn't know that much about him. All I knew was that he was strict, and he obviously he believed in God. He was a Christian, and it sucked. When he passed away, I was only 1 year old. I didn't grow up with a father, and I'll go balls deep into that topic on another podcast. But I want to focus this podcast on growing up as a mixed race person or ablation. So when he passed away, when I was 1 year old, right, I didn't know my father's side of the family. I can't even remember them when I was a kid. So there's a gap between when or how I grew up, right? Before, I didn't meet my father's side of my family until I was 15, 16. And I'll get into that a little bit more into the podcast. Okay. So, after I lost him, again, growing up without a dad sucks, right? It sucks. In the beginning, when my mom and my dad, they fell in love, My mom didn't really want more kids. She didn't want to be in a relationship. She just, came from the Philippines to here to Canada. She wanted to start a new life. She wanted to start a life where she can bring her previous kids over from the Philippines to here. But my dad, I guess, saw something in her. He saw something in my mom and, pursued her, even though she kept pushing back. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She kept pushing back. And my dad was like, no, you're the one. Like, don't push me to your friend. You and me have good connection. I mean, this is what my mom told me. I'm just going off of what my mom told me. Okay. So when they met, they've hit it off. They had me. And I don't think my mom told her kids in the Philippines. I don't think so. I don't think they told them at all. I don't know. I don't think so. Because when they eventually came here, they saw me. They didn't know about me. So you can imagine the shock. They were teenagers at the time coming from Philippines to Canada. They were in shock when they saw me, like this little kid, I think it was like 1995. So I was around 6 years old and they were around like 14, 16 years old. So like they were in shock when they saw me. Yeah, it is what it is, growing up, with a single mother, especially, you don't really know who you are. As a kid, you don't really care. First of all, you don't really care. If I can remember back in those days when I was a kid, it wasn't all negative. It wasn't, it was just, it just sucked that my mom was single and, my mom being lonely is her taste in men is just like, I love my mom, but her taste in men is just, oh my God, but you gotta push that aside and support her, so back when I was a kid, when I met my brother and my sister who were from the Philippines, again, I didn't know anything about like, calling them kuya or ate, like the whole Filipino culture, like the culture, my mom never even taught me, I was all about the Nintendo, the original Nintendo system. I was so hooked onto that. I don't know. I was like a gamer. I was such a gamer kid. Like Nintendo was so nostalgic for me. Duck Hunt and Super Mario, going on to Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES, playing Super Mario World, all that. It really, at the time as a kid, I didn't really care. Like I didn't really think about like mixed identity or being Blasian, being biracial. Like those terms I don't give a fuck about. Never cared. I was video games, anime, Pokemon, Digimon. Like when I was, as a kid, you don't care who you're hanging out with, you don't care, you're just, all you care about is having fun. It's only when you get older, that's when you start to realize, okay, now you can see different people breaking off into their cliques, right? You see the blacks with the blacks, the whites with the whites, the Asians with the Asians. You see that, right? And I always ended up with the black kids. Always ended up with black kids. I thought I was black. I think at one point, when it was like middle school, I thought I was black. I even identified as black. It's oh man, it was an awkward time because when you go to school, people think that you're black, but when you're at home, you have this Filipino mom and you got Filipino everything. You had Filipino everything. I mean, it was just what's the balance? Where's the balance there? Um, the separation between school and home was big. Like it was such a big gap. It was such a big gap in between the two. Like the two environments were totally different. Totally different. Um, the similarity was that I wasn't. I was always thinking about how to fit in. How do I fit in at home with like my Filipino brother and my Filipino sister? How do I fit in at school with all the kids, especially the black kids? How do I do it? You know, the main thing was basketball. Another thing was rapping. You know, uh, freestyling. Dancing. How do you fit in with the kids at school? Because when I was at school, especially middle school, playing video games wasn't that popular. Playing games, I didn't have like a core game group. Not until high school. High school it started to change, like because the Xbox started to come out. By the way, I'm born in 1989. All right, I was born in 1989, and by the time I got to 2003, I think that's when I first started high school. And man, when I started high school, oh, it was such a different experience. That's when I started to feel ostracized and I started to feel alone. And I mean alone, man. I didn't feel like I had friends at all. But again, before that, the transition from public school to middle school to high school, it was big. It was big. It was big. It was big. But what kept me going was playing video games. Was playing games. I remember playing Ocarina of Time so many times, literally. I remember playing Donkey Kong 64. I remember when Super Mario 64 came out and it blew my mind. I was like going from a 2D to 3D. It was amazing. Star Fox 64, Super Smash Brothers. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And then you got the Dreamcast coming out with all these types of games. Sonic Adventures, and then you got Power Stone, you got Shenmue, all these different types of games. It really kept me grounded and sane. Because if I didn't have gaming, I don't know. I'd probably go crazy. I'd probably be doing things to impress other people, to I don't know, to make them accept me. Gaming to me, growing up, especially as a Blasian, really allowed me to enjoy life. I don't know, in a certain way. Gaming and anime. Watching Pokemon, Digimon, Gundam Wing, Sailor Moon, Escaflowne, Inuyasha, all those 90s anime, and like the movies too, even like the adult anime movies like Ninja Scroll, like all the movies. Gundam Wing Endless Waltz was another one. But all of them really just, I don't know, it really grounded me. It really kept me out of trouble. It really did. It really kept me off the streets, so to speak. I didn't grow up in a low, violent area. Low income. I didn't really grow up in a low violent area. It was kind of like in between. Kind of in between. The area improved a lot. The area improved a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it did. But before, when I was growing up, it was rough, man. It was rough. But again, let me remind everybody here that I grew up without a father. I grew up without one. I grew up without no dad guiding me. It was only my mom, and my mom had to go out and work. And guess where she would leave me? At home, right? I'd be sitting in front of the TV, playing N64, playing a Dreamcast and the OG Xbox, just playing, especially the N64. The N64 was like my babysitter when I was younger. Literally my babysitter. I could not live without the N64. But yeah. Jane says, same. Gaming kept me so happy and connected me with other people in real life. Exactly. Yeah, gaming really, when I think back on it, being Blasian or being biracial mixed or black, white, Asian, whatever, it didn't matter. Like, what matters is how people accept you. If you have the same hobbies or the same interests as the other person, it doesn't matter what their skin color is. This is going back to when I was a kid. This is going back to when I was playing, GoldenEye 007, one of the first shooters that I've ever played. And same people, everybody on the couch before internet blew up and people were connected online. Before all that, before console, gaming, internet, all that stuff blew up. We had 4 controllers, a console like the N64, GoldenEye, 007, Super Smash, Mario Kart 64, whatever the hell it was. And we all sat there and we all had fun playing it and versing each other all together. When you're playing GoldenEye, split screen, 4-player, you're screen hacking each other. It was a great time. And then going into the early 2000s, Halo Combat Evolved, great time. Halo 2, great time. And it didn't matter who you were playing with. It didn't matter. If you had the same passion for gaming, we all connect. We all get along. That's the thing. That is, to me, that is core. And that's what really saved me. That's why I'm here. Or one of the reasons why I'm here. It's because of video games. It's what started it all. It literally saved my life. I'm not going to lie. It literally saved my life. Literally. Jane says, same. In the 90s and early 2000s, my friend group was completely mixed race, biracial, any religion, whatever. We all gamed together and loved each other. Exactly. Ray says, I love Connect 4. Hey, I love Connect 4 too, Ray. I love checkers as well. Snake on the phone. Love that too. Bomberman. Oh, you're lit at Connect 4, Jane? I bet. But yeah, video games really brought everyone together. It really did. And looking back at it, I would say throughout the 90s and early 2000s, not really a big issue. Not a problem. Not a problem when it came to, mixed race problems or Blasian problems or whatever. Identity crisis. I don't think I had that. Okay. Until I got to high school. And let me tell you, high school is a totally different beast in itself. All right. Totally different. And I'm talking massive difference. Who else gamed on their calculator? Blockman? Oh, I never knew there was a games on calculator. But yeah. Let me talk about high school. Okay, let me go over high school real quick. Because high school, that was the time where I felt very alone. I think the transition from middle school to high school, because a lot of people from my middle school didn't go to the same high school that I had. So, when you make friends, you want to be able to see the same friends that you saw in your previous school over at the new school, right? Especially when you go over from middle school to high school. It was a big jump, a huge jump. I barely knew anybody, didn't know that much people. I probably saw a few familiar faces, but again, different time. Hey, what's up, Tidy Whiteys? How you doing? Oh, it was a different time. But the racial divide back then, when I was in high school, was huge. You had black people hanging out with black people. You had Asian hanging out with Asian. You had the white rocker crew hanging out with them. Everybody was separate. I've never seen so much separation before. And I didn't find my crew. I didn't find anyone who was like me, or who was, I don't know, who was definitely no one who was Blasian. Let me just get that out there. I did not have one Blasian friend growing up. Not one. I did not have one friend who was mixed growing up. Not one. Not one. They were all something. All of them. All of them were something. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And another thing that really I had to go through was my hair. I can only imagine growing up mixed with, especially if you're a female, your hair, like, how do you, man, I just ended up just shaving it off. I just ended up going bald. I used to have an afro. I'm not lying. Let me see if I can find a photo of myself with an afro. Because that shit was, here we go. I was a young kid. I was a young kid. Look at anybody who wants to see this. I was a young kid. I was so young. And Jane says, I tried to perm my hair straight once. It was horrible. Oh, I can only imagine being a mixed race girl, growing up, trying to take after your hair. I used to go to this Trinidadian barber. You never guessed that was me? Really? Yeah, I know, right? This is back when I was 13. I think I was 13 or something. It was a transition between middle school to high school. And I was feeling, I guess I wasn't feeling it. I think that was like my grade 9 photo. Yeah, I was in grade 9. And I would go to this Trinidadian barber. Right? I'll never forget. I'll go to the Trinidadian barber every Tuesday because that's the cheapest day that they would have haircuts. It was like $8 or something. Regular price is like 16. And I would come in every single time with that afro, with the afro that you just saw. I would go in every single time with the afro. And they would, I don't know, it was strange because if you didn't have a certain barber, they didn't want to take you. I don't know. It was crazy. My mom, it's a good thing the only reason I went there is because my dad went there. So they knew my dad. But when he passed away, I guess, I don't know. For some reason, they fell off. I don't know. They only knew my mom at that point. So I would always go with my mom. My mom would always drive me there and get my hair shaved out. They would ask me what I wanted, if I wanted a fade. I didn't even know what the hell that was. I didn't even know. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't care. I just wanted my head to be shaved off because it was a fucking big afro. It's a huge afro. But there was a point where I went by myself, and I was sitting there, but no one wanted to cut my hair. You know, I think I was sitting there. I think there was a few people that came after me, and they took them instead of me. I don't know. I don't know if it was like if I felt out of place. I don't know. But thinking back on it, I was sitting there waiting for my turn, you know? Waiting for myself to cut my hair. I think it was like grade 10 or 11. I don't even know, man. I think it was like grade 10. Something like it was in high school, definitely. I took the bus on Tuesday to get my hair cut. And I was sitting there, you know, waiting for the barber to, the barber, hey, come on, man. I got you. Come on. Maybe because like they thought I couldn't pay for it. Maybe because they get tipped. I don't know. At the time, man, I don't know. I just wanted the cheap haircut. You know, and my head now, thinking back on it, that was probably the case. Maybe I was a young kid they saw and they're like, ugh, I'm not gonna make money off of this guy. I'm not gonna make money off of this kid. You know? I had money. I had the money. I had like $10. And maybe after like 30 minutes or so, where he actually shaved my head, actually give me a shave. Like he shaved up my full afro, like the afro that you saw in my photo, like that thick afro. He shaved it all off. Instead of it being $8, he charged me 10. Maybe he saw that I had $10. I don't know. I felt after that moment, I decided to just shave my head. I was like, I don't need to come here every single time to get my head shaving. I don't need to come here every single time to get my head shaved. I can just do it myself. And ever since then, I just did it myself. Jane says, yeah, my mom has straight hair. She has no idea what to do with my curls growing up. She would tell Momento to brush it and just made it a fro. Oh, made it a fro. Damn. Yeah, like the hair, mixed race hair is different. Like if I grow my hair out right now, it'll be just wild. I would have a bald spot in the middle and it'll just be like growing like on the sides here. Yeah, if you want to know how I look like with like fully grown hair and a kind of like a beard, it looks ugly. It's terrible now. I'll tell you to brush. Okay. Gotcha. Embrace the bald. Exactly. Sometimes as of right now, I'm doing the rock thing. I'm not going to grow it out. I'm just going to shave it all off. Yeah, but ever since then, I don't think I've ever been to a barber. It's been that long. I just buy my own razor, shaver, whatever, electric, plug that shit in, shave it all off. Just shave it all off, do it myself. So, but anyway, I just felt like I didn't belong. It was like my first ever feeling of like I didn't belong here. Like a lot of these guys were from Trinidad, Tobago, right? And they'll be talking in the Trini accent. I can't do the Trini accent. But I felt as though I didn't belong. I didn't. Because the way I talked, like I didn't know how to speak Tagalog. Again, like my mom didn't raise me up speaking it. Like it was like my sister and my brother who came and were, speaking to me or trying to get me to learn how to be respectful. How to call people ate, how to call people kuya. How to be respectful to your elders or to the eldest. Because I didn't call them ate or kuya. I didn't call them them at all when they came. I don't remember them calling them that. It was only later on where I called them that. Around like middle school, high school ish. Bald is beautiful. Exactly. I like to be bald now. I embraced it. I embraced it fully now. So going back to the whole high school thing. High school again was the place where I saw a lot of separation, right? Like I said before, black, white, white. Usually black were like the hip hop crew, white were the rocker crew who listened to like a lot of heavy metal. You got the Asian crew who were, I don't know, they're all together. But they're like all the Asian crew, they were all like from different parts. Like some were like Chinese and some were Filipino, some were Japanese, some were Korean, some were Vietnamese. It was like you got all that Asian crew there, and I don't know what the hell they were doing. Probably doing art, drawing, all that stuff. And then there was me. I was a gamer. At the time, OG Xbox was my thing. I played a lot of Halo Combat Evolved. I played a lot of Star Wars Knights of the Republic. I was an RPG guy. I played Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive 3, Dead or Alive Ultimate, like a Halo 2. A lot of games, a lot of like Xbox games that I play. Oh, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I used to play, even though I was not allowed to. But yeah, no. When I was in high school, I felt so alone. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any, people that I was close with. I remember going to high school and just going through a lot of these changes. When you hit that puberty point, like 13 going on to 14, I was going through it. I was going through all that. I was going through all those changes. And I think I was just, I was an energetic, wild kid. Especially in middle school. Middle school, I was going nuts. I think in middle school, from what I remember, I was so wild that, my mom used to go to church and pray for me, because again, I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have any male figures in my life that I could look up to. And I'm going to explain that in a future podcast with, growing up as a single father or growing up without a father. Sorry. Because that to me was a huge, huge thing. I wish I had someone like a father figure in my life that was a positive father figure. If I ever become a father, I am going to be one of the best fathers ever. Even if I'm not on good terms with the baby's mother, I'm going to be a great father to that kid. As much as possible, I'm going to look after my health because, again, that's what happened to my dad. He didn't look after his health. He had heart problems. He died of a heart attack. So I'm going to look after my health. I'm going to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, and I'm going to be in that child's life. I refuse not to be in that child's life. I refuse. In high school, I fought. I got bullied. Like I never got bullied that much when I was in middle school or public school as much as I did in high school. High school was just a different league in itself. I ended up feeling so out of place that I would just go to the library. I would go to the library, just go on the computer. I remember going on the Dead or Alive forums, Ninja Gaiden forums because I was playing those games heavily back in those days. I just be in the library, just doing my thing. Probably make a MySpace account. I remember doing a MySpace account. It was just so bad. It was terrible. Terrible MySpace account. I remember filling up with like all this anime random crap. But yeah, no, I don't. I never had any I never had any friends in general. You know, I've had people who knew me, who liked me, and they're like casual. But I never had anyone that was like, okay, at lunch you would go hang out with this person. You know, I never had that. I was very. I felt like I didn't belong anywhere because I didn't follow a lot of the tropes that, especially the black crew in there we're doing. They were heavily into basketball. I sucked at basketball. They were heavily into rap, hip hop, freestyling, and I sucked at that. You know, I sucked at freestyling. I tried my best to freestyle. I cannot, for the life of me, cannot freestyle. A lot of them were into fighting, just starting beef with other people. And I didn't want to be a part of that. Looking cool in front of all the girls, I wasn't into that. I was not into that. Not at all. I was a gamer. I was. It was hard for me to find my clique. I didn't have a gamer clique that I stuck with in high school. So it sucked. It sucked. But in between there was a lot of rage. A lot of, as a teenager growing up, you're going to throw a fit. And I threw so many fits at my mom. Not going to lie. So, salamat nai. Thank you. Thank you very much for dealing with me. I know I was a hard kid. I wasn't perfect. None of us are. But thank you for dealing with me. At this point, when I was in high school, one of the fits that I threw, and this is important, was meeting my father's side of the family. I didn't really know him. I didn't really know my father's side of my family. Growing up, Black and Asian, all I knew was my mother's side. That's it. My mother's side, Filipino, like all that. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. And I didn't even, like I said before, I didn't know the language. The culture was not there. I think I went to the Philippines in 1998. But I was a kid back then, man. I was a kid. I was a kid. I was so young. I was so young. I was young. I was so young. I was a young uncle. Because when my sister came here, she got pregnant. She had my niece, who is One Salty Nemo. A mod on my channel. Oh, hey, Arctic. How's it going? Thank you for stopping in. But this is important, okay? So let me tell you about this. I didn't really know. I probably met them when I was born. But that doesn't count. When you meet someone when you were born, you don't remember anything. I met my father's side of my family when I was 15, 16. I was, it's still in high school. I remember one night, maybe my mom was driving me home. We were driving home from somewhere, and then I called her out. I was like, I want to meet my father's side of my family. I want to meet him. It's like, Mom, I want to meet my father's side of my family. It's been how long? It's been so many years. She couldn't say anything. She couldn't. She didn't say anything. She couldn't. What could she say? You know? Like I don't know. Like before I called myself a Blasian, before I even termed had the courage to even call myself a Blasian or identify as a Blasian. You know, I was pretty much I thought I was black. I thought I was black. I thought, okay, I'm a black person. I'm a black man. You know, why am I not seeing the black side of my family? Why? Why am I not seeing them? I had to push my mom to see them. If I didn't push my mom to see them, I don't think I ever would have met them. I never would have. I was like, why is she keeping them from meeting them? Like, why is she keeping me from meeting them? Why? I don't know. Maybe she had her reasons. I don't know. But I pushed. Arctic says, don't even remember breakfast when you were 1 and under. Exactly. Like, what do you eat? I remember my mom would tell me that my dad would feed me McDonald's and KFC when I was like 1 year old. Not even hitting one. I was a chubby kid. I was a big kid. Big baby. Big baby. But yeah, no, I pushed my mom. I pushed my mom to say to be like, okay, Mom, I wanted to go meet my father's side of my family. Let me go meet them. I want to see them. And then it forced her to make contact with, you know, my father's side of my family. And that's when I learned my father had kids previously in his previous marriage before he met my mom, right? He had a daughter and a son. And I had a niece that was literally my age, which was crazy. It was crazy. Can you imagine that? Me trying to explain my family is nuts. It's nuts. It's kind of like, you know, you kind of think back, like, was I supposed to be born? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason why I'm born. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever that reason is, you know, hopefully I'm fulfilling it. But, you know, my parents literally had kids before they met each other. And then they had me. Which is crazy. You know, was it meant to be? Maybe. They both made mistakes in their life. Maybe I'm the correction. I don't know. Whatever it is. I'm just happy that they met and they had me. Like, if it wasn't for them meeting, hell, how would you know? How would you know in your life? How would you know who your parents are going to be? How? There is no way that you would know who your parents are going to be. What environment that you grew up in. The conditioning. And that plays a big role in everybody. Not only just Blasians, not mixed people, biracial people, everybody. How they act, how they talk, how they treat others. It all starts in the home. You know? That's where it starts. And me growing up without a father, it really damaged. I was at a disadvantage. I was at a total disadvantage. If my father was alive today, to this day, would I be Twitch streaming? Would I be doing this? Would I be doing this podcast? Or would I be doing something else? You know, you never know. You never know. You can't control who your parents are. You can't control what environment that you were born in. But you can control what happens in the future, your destiny. You can't control what path you're going to take. You know? Yes, in your earlier years as a child, you're still trying to figure it out. Even as a teenager, you're still trying to figure it out. In your early 20s, you're still trying to figure it out. But as time goes on, moves on, you know, when you're a kid, you say some outlandish shit. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a president. I want to be the prime minister. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a soldier. I want to be this. I want to be a chef. I want to be all that. And then as you get older, it changes, you know, and it starts to focus down. Well, now I want to be in film. Now I want to be a firefighter. Now I want to fly jets, or I want to be a pilot. And then as you get into your 20s, and that's when it starts to, okay, now I'm starting to focus it, trying to figure out what exactly I'm trying to do, you know? And there's some people out there who still don't know what they want to do, but they are figuring out. Life is, it's a journey, not a destination. You may find that you are good at one thing, but there could be an opportunity for you to do something else. And again, you know, me being a Blasian growing up, there are things that I learned that really allowed me to become my future self, you know? You know, all the adversities that I've been through, learning from them allowed me to become my future self. It really did. It really did. It really did. It allowed me to become who I am right now. You know, I identify as a Blasian, right? I identify as both Trinidadian and Filipino and Canadian. You know, you can identify as whatever you like to, as whatever you want, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. You're not harming anybody else. But anyway, let's go back to when I met my father's side of my family. Okay. Arctic says, I can say without a doubt that there are an infinite number of universes. Some are just like our own, but for one or two significant events, exactly the same. Ooh, deep. From A Just God Among Us, the video game. Hell yeah. That's a deep quote. Deep quote from Lex Luthor? Oh, shit. All right. But going back to when I first met my father's side of the family, I didn't gel with them when I first met them. I was a bit shy. You know when you're a kid, you're like, you talk big, and you're like, yeah, I want to meet them. And then when you meet them, you just don't know what to say. That was me. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say or do. It was great. It was great that I met them. But it made me realize, oh my God, like I'm so different. I'm so different. It was the term, you are not black enough. That sunk with me, back when I first met them. Like, am I black enough? What am I? I'm not, I don't feel as though I'm black enough. As I got older, I realized, when people make that statement to me that I'm not black enough or I'm more blacker than you, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? At first, it confused me. But now, it's like, whoa. That makes no sense to me. It went from confusion to, wait a minute, that makes no sense. When someone tells me that I'm not black enough, or I'm more blacker than you, is that supposed to be offensive? Because I never I don't even know what that means. It's like when people say you don't talk, you talk like you talk so white, or you don't talk like a black person or something. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, what kind of person? How do you define what a black person is? How do you generalize what a black person is? How do you generalize what a white person is? How? You just go by stereotypes. That's all you go by. When you go by stereotypes, some of it is true, but it's not, the majority. It's not everyone. It's not everyone. It's what other people experience. A black person who grew up, or like I'll say, since it's a Blasian podcast, when a Blasian grows up, let's say for example they're half Kenyan, half Japanese, and they grew up in Japan, okay, and they grew up in Yokohama, I don't know, somewhere, Tokyo, wherever, okay, they're gonna be different culturally than a person who grows up in Kenya, right? But the amount of education when it comes to looking at other Blasians and looking at other mixed race people don't have that education instilled in them. No one was taught in our environment. No one was taught how to look at mixed race or biracial people. Nobody. No one was taught that. No one. There was no education. There's no book, or there's no guide, especially back in the 90s, of how to, look at other mixed race people, especially other Blasian people. There's none. There's no like education. People always looked at, okay, like it's so easy just to call someone black if they look like the stereotypical black person. It'd be easier if that, Blasian identified as a black person, because that's, if they look more black than anything, then it's just easier for that Blasian to identify as black. And I've seen that all the time. I've seen it all the time. I've seen it constantly. When I meet other half black people or half white people or whatever, they are literally the product of the environment that they grew up in. Literally. They are literally the product of the environment that they grew up in. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, look at I'll just use Blasian as another example, all right? Because a lot of Blasians out there are close to the black community because that's how they grew. I don't know, that's how they grew up. That's how they, that's easier to be assimilated within that group, because you are accepted within that group. There's a group, there's a camaraderie there. There's something there that allows them to be like, okay, this is my group. I'm closer to this group because this is how other people on the outside treat me. A lot of people are just tired. Maybe some mixed race people are just tired of answering the question, what mix are you, or who your parents are. Maybe they just want to be like, okay, I'm black, and just want to be with the black group. It's all about acceptance. It's all about acceptance. I've seen it a lot on Twitch as well. I've seen it a lot. But again, it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't change how people, who they identify as, or what group they want to be in with. You can't. Whatever group that they want to assimilate in, that's the group they want to assimilate in. That's their right. You know? For me, I don't associate myself with like one group or the other group. You know, I don't feel closer to. I don't feel like I'm close to the Filipino group versus the Trinidadian. Like, no. I'm closest to anybody who accepted me for me. Like it going all the way back to saying that I love playing video games. Like, playing video games will always be my thing. And it doesn't matter what race or color you are, whatever you are. It doesn't matter. If you love to play video games, if you love anime, or if you love movies, if you love art in general, you my people. You know, we have something to talk about. My first instinct isn't to be like, oh my God, are you Blasian or not? Are you black or what? No. No. I feel as though it's kind of a danger if you focus on one group. You know, you shouldn't focus on one group. You should focus on people in general. You know, anybody who likes the same game as you. You know, it doesn't matter what they look like, right? What matters is that they like the same game as you. Now, just because they like the same game as you doesn't mean that you like their attitude. You know? You may not like their attitude. That's the thing. You got to separate the two. A lot of people are just, you know, if you are black, okay, I'll use Blasian again. Just because I'm Blasian doesn't mean I'm going to defend another Blasian if they make a mistake. If they made a mistake, I'll be like, hey, man, you or woman, you made a mistake. It's like, hey, you made a mistake here. You know, I'm not going to defend them because, you know, they made a mistake and it's really bad. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know, you make a mistake, you have to have self-accountability in order to admit that you made that mistake. Right? Race shouldn't fall into it. Here's the thing. Before I move on, I know I'm ranting and just, you know, spitballing here. But I just want to say that when you grow up in an environment, it will affect who you are and what you become. And if it affects you in a negative way, you need to get out. You need to leave. What I mean by that is that as a Malaysian mixed race person, biracial person growing up, if I feel as though I'm being affected in a negative way based upon people not accepting me because I don't identify as, you know, as black or Asian, then I need to cut those people out. I need to cut them out. You know, I just say, okay, fine, whatever. I'm just going to go over here. You know, I don't know how many times the black card has been pulled on me. You know, like if I don't know a certain rap artist, it means that I'm not black enough. I don't know. Like, I remember not knowing who Genuine was. I was like, who the hell is Genuine? And this is like, I was living in Vancouver at the time. And one person was like, what? You don't know who Genuine was? Or, I remember, something stupid. What was that? Aunt Jemima or something. So I was like, who's Aunt Jemima or whatever? And it was a white person. It was like, what? You don't know who Aunt Jemima is? I'm more blacker than you. I don't like that statement. I fucking hate that statement. I hate it. 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 It's because I look like this. That's why. I look more black than Filipino. Like, you have to have a certain eye. It's very rare that people look at me and are like, okay, you are Blasian. It's very rare. It's very rare. You got to have a certain eye to see that I'm mixed. All right? Back then, it was terrible. Back then, it was bad. It was like, you look at me, you're like, yeah, you're black. But nowadays, there's way more Blasian, mixed race, biracial representation than ever. And now people are creating media about it. I know there's like some Netflix shows that feature mixed race people. So this whole notion that I went through, like, I went through this so much about how I don't act black enough. You know, I don't act this enough. It was confusing. It was so confusing for me because you want to fit in. But you realize later on that you don't try to be something that you don't want to be, or you're not. Don't try to become something that you are not just to fit in. If you try to become something just to fit in, just to be accepted by a certain group of people, you're losing a part of yourself. You're not staying true to yourself. You know, the people who want to accept you for who you are, you got to cherish those people. You got to cherish them. I know they're far in between. I know it sucks being alone. I know. It does. But you have to find happiness within yourself before you find happiness with somebody else. If you can't find happiness within yourself, how the hell do you find happiness with other people? There is beauty in being alone. There is. I know it may not be, it's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset. You wish you had somebody there to hang out with, you know? You wish you had somebody there, just to talk to. I know. Because I've been there. However, they're not there now for a reason. But they will be there soon. Or they'll be there. You may not find the right person to gel with. Whether it be a significant other or whether it be another friend. I mean, at the end of the day, let me just dial this back a bit. At the end of the day, when it comes to myself growing up as a Blasian, I don't know. It's hard to put into words. At this point, at this moment, how I truly accepted who I am. At this point, I truly accepted, who I am, what I like to do. Here I am on Twitch doing things that I just love to do. I love to play single player games. I love to do ASMR. I love to do drunk streams. I love to talk about sex. I'm doing a podcast. And the thing is, not everybody's going to accept me for me, and that's fine. That's okay. That is okay. That's fine by me. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But, yeah. Anyway. Where the hell's my piece of paper? All right. So, did I miss anything? I wrote all the shit that I was about to talk about. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wanted to show you all something. To show you all something. Okay. This is it's a trailer for a certain documentary. It's called Left by the Ship. And I want to talk about this film because as a mixed person, as a biracial person, as a Blasian, this documentary had an effect on me. And this takes place in the Philippines. Okay, this takes place in the Philippines, and it's about these Navy ships that always stop by in the Philippines. I think it was Subic Bay, like for 50 years or so. They'll always have these Navy ships that stop by in the Philippines, and the sailors would, go to shore and pretty much bang a lot of the women there. And most of them were sex workers and whatnot. And they would have kids. They would get them pregnant. And they would have kids and just forget about them. I just wanted to show the trailer and just talk about it real quick. Okay? Let's just talk about this real quick. Let me know if you can hear the trailer for it. It's called Left by the Ship. All right? The Forgotten American Children.
Subic Bay, the Philippines, was a sexual playground where American sailors and GIs could buy themselves a so-called entertainment girl for under $10.
This was a fishing village that became a brothel.
Galing ako ng probinsya sa Katbalugan sa Amat. 14 years old ako noon. Kasi parang asawa ka ng kano, alagaan mo yung kano. Paglulutuan mo, pagsisilbihan mo, parang gano'n. Tuwing darating siya, ako ang nagiging babae niya.
Anytime there's any military presence stationed at one point, they are human beings. They're going to get their biological urges.
Exactly.
Get left behind. And it's just a fact of life.
Exactly. I just want to talk about that real quick. Because this documentary really hit me. Really did. It really hit me. It says, when the U.S. bases closed in 1992, more than 50,000 children were left behind. 50,000 fucking children. Can't believe not all of these children were accounted for. I mean, by the way, that's a small percentage of the population of the Philippines, by the way, but that still is a big population of mixed kids. A lot of them were Blasian. I just when I watched this documentary, it kind of made me think of my life and what if my environment was different? What if my mom was still in the Philippines, didn't come here to Canada? She was still in the Philippines, had a random sailor, just come off the ship, have sex with her, And all of a sudden, she had me. And I'll be growing up in the Philippines. I just feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad for all the kids who grew up without a father, especially in the Philippines. It hit me so hard because most of the like literally majority of them are men, are dudes that's doing this. And thankfully my dad wasn't like that. But, to grow up in that situation, to grow up how these kids grew up in the Philippines, in half American, half Filipino. You got white, black, probably some Mexican. Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine, man. Yeah, let's just keep watching the trailer.
Kasi po nung iniwan ako ng father ko, mga 5 years old na po ako nun.
Biological father left him when he was 5 years old.
Ilabas mo sa manalong mo sa akin. Hindi kinikim mo palagi.
And
Ayaw
now
ko magsalita.
he has problems with his
palagi
mother.
ka nagwawala. Paglasing ka, sabihin mo sa akin ngayon.
A child is born.
Growing up without a father.
If he hasn't become a citizen by his 18th birthday, okay, his father don't want him.
It's crazy. It is crazy. This shit could have been me. This shit could have been me. When I truly think about it, this shit could have been me. I could have been left by a ship. I could have been, my environment could have been different. I could have grew up Blasian somewhere else. Would I be the same person I am today? Probably not. Probably not. There's Blasians who are my age who grew up in different parts of the world that we'll never hear their story. We will never hear their story. Ever. That to me is one of the reasons why I do this. That to me. Hey, what's up, Miss Yams? How you doing? I know. I'm just here venting. I'm here venting, Miss Yams. I am just explaining my upbringing, my life as a Blasian, mixed race, biracial person. I was just saying that, I could have grew up somewhere else. I could have grew up in the Philippines, because I've been to the Philippines 3 times now. 3 times. And seeing the poverty over there. I'm so lucky to grow up in Canada, to be born here in Canada. A lot of the sailors in the Navy ships, a lot of mixed race kids, especially Blasians, they were born from these Navy soldiers. They were Army kids. Usually they were born without a father, without a mother. It's very rare that the mother and the father were together. It's very rare to see, an American woman get pregnant by an Asian man back in the day. It was all men. It was all guys. It was all guys fucking all these Asian women, getting them pregnant. Most of them were prostitutes, by the way. Most of them, that's why they're embarrassed. That's why when they go back to the States, they don't want to claim them. You know, they came out with an American Asian Act or something, American Asian Act or something. You know, they're trying to bring all the kids that were born from the people from the Navy over to the States. But that only applied in Vietnam. Nowhere else. Not Korea, not Japan, not Cambodia, not the Philippines. You know, all these kids were just left. The only time that they would ever get to go to the States or go to Canada or whatever, to go to the States especially, is if the fathers claimed them. And guess what? These guys probably had, you know, their own relationships back in the States. They probably didn't want to deal with it. They probably didn't want to, you know, claim their kid. And it's crazy to me. Like, some of the people in this documentary are my age. And they're still there over in the Philippines, trying to survive, trying to live a better life. You know, hopefully they're okay. You know, but when I watched this documentary, I was shook. I was like, man, I could have been a Blasian growing up somewhere else. You know, you got to count your blessings here. You got to. Oh, man. Puts things in perspective. Yeah. Yeah, Poison. What's up, Poison? Yeah. I'm just going off here because I'm talking about my life growing up as a Blasian, growing up or mixed race or biracial or whatever. And this documentary, it's called Left by the Ship. It's called Left by the Ship. And it really got me. It really did. It really did get to me. It really did get to me. You know, this is a trailer, by the way. But I highly recommend that you watch the full thing. If you want to watch the full thing, it's a Tagalog title called Iniwan ng Barko, which means left by the ship. Barko is ship or boat. You know, if you want to watch the full thing, there it is right there. Iniwan ng Barko. So you can watch the full thing here. You know, it literally goes through the life of these kids that grew up without a father. Like all of them grew up without fathers, especially the boys. The boys are just tough. Like, I grew up without a father. So I feel for these kids, man. I feel for these, you know, half mixed kids, man. I feel for them. They're now adults now. I mean, shit, man. Growing up Blasian in Canada, in the West, is one thing. But growing up Blasian in, like, Japan or Philippines, where they're not used to your skin color, oh my God, China, oh my God. I can only imagine the amount of adversity that they went through. The amount of issues that they went through. Oh. Hey, what's up, cuz? How you doing? How you doing, cuz? How you doing? I'm venting, cuz. I'm venting. Blasian Butterfly, we gotta talk. We gotta have a little co-stream here. We gotta have like a little podcast talk here. Because this shit is cutting deep for me. Okay? This shit is cutting deep. Oh man, blessings on blessings, right, Yams? Exactly. Oh man. Hey, what's up, Joe? You just realized what a Blasian is? Hey, now you know. Now you know now. Cuz says, listen, when I visited the Philippines, my sister and I, who have tattoos and piercings, got hella stares. Like 2 dudes did like triple takes trying to look at us. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about, growing up different. Especially if you're in an environment where there is just one type of person or one type of look. I feel as though, and anybody here who's half Filipino, I think it's easier to be half white and half Filipino than to be half black and half Filipino. Because, if you go to the Philippines, you have that white skin and people love you. People like your look. It's a different feeling over there if you are puti, which is white. It's a very different feeling. You get treated differently. You don't get like the harsh stares. You probably get, people want to come up to you and talk to you. There's this woman who is half Filipino. Like, I think she's half Australian, half Filipino. Her name is Ann Curtis. And my God, they treat her like a god over there. She's a god over there. But the way that they treat certain mixed race people over other mixed race people, especially if you are mixed with black, it's totally different. It's totally different. Oh my God. The fact that you have the realization now as an adult is awesome. You don't really think about this stuff until you're an adult. Exactly, Miss Yams. Miss Yams, I'm telling you. Like now we have Blasian representation. We have people who are mixed race. We got people to come out and say that, hey, they are mixed race and they are speaking on issues that plagued them when they were growing up. The biggest one for me and to anybody else who is mixed race or maybe is, the identity crisis. Are you black? Are you Asian? You don't act black enough. You don't speak in a certain way, so you're not accepted. I went through that. Cause it was so one-sided too. I didn't know what to do. And you try your best to be accepted by these certain people, like especially with me for the black community. I tried my best in high school to be accepted by the black community, and I failed. I fucking failed. I wasn't good at football. I sucked at basketball. I couldn't freestyle. Everybody was all about that G unit. Everybody was like about that 50 Cent back in the day. The whole G unit craze was crazy. Maybe that's why I listen to more Eminem than any other rapper, because Eminem, I don't know, he was just different for his time. I don't know. I didn't fit the whole black bubble. And that's why I felt so ostracized. I felt so out of place because of that. And it's just bringing up so many bad memories of bullying. People, telling me that I don't act black enough, or people telling me I'm more blacker than you. I don't get it. I never understood why they would tell me that I'm more blacker than you. Like white people tell me I'm more blacker than you. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't act black enough. I don't talk black. How do black people talk? What do you mean? What are you talking about? In the beginning, when someone told me that, I was confused. But now I know it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. This is why my friend circle is so... there's no one. It's crazy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be, in the space that I'm in. And I want to be accepted by people who accept me for me. You know, I'm a spreader of love and positivity. You know, I'm doing things that I love to do. And no one's going to tell me otherwise. You know, if I'm doing something negative, I'm an open book. Please let me know, because I have self-accountability. I'm willing to look myself in the mirror and be like, okay, here are my flaws. Here's what's wrong with me. You know, I'm not going to put up the fence and be like, no. I'm going to look at myself and be like, okay, what can I do to fix myself so that I can be the better person of me, you know, so I can become a better person of me. You're always evolving, you know, you're always evolving. I know it's cliche. Life is a journey, not a destination. You are always evolving, always learning. Your past adversities allow you to become your future selves. You know, learning from your past adversity allows you to become your future self. And that's what I did with, you know, growing up as a Blasian, growing up as someone that, okay, I'm fully embracing both sides, not just one, but both, and just becoming my own. You know, I'm not Filipino. I'm not, you know, Trinidadian. I'm me. I'm Blasian Titan. You know, I'm me. Sorry. Let me just get back into the chat here. I know I missed a lot. I go on my rants. Cuz says, let's not even start with the whole you're not black enough or you're not Asian enough topic. Oh my God. Literally not at the same time. Joe says, I grew around brown/black people. I never really understood racism. It's messed up. Cuz says, I struggled with identity even after college because I was seen as the cool Blasian girl with people I went to school with. And they felt like they could say certain stuff that just was okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. In college, I've been with white people, or I've hang around white people, and the N-word was thrown around. Like they're saying the N-word like it was nothing. And they're looking at me like, are you offended by that? And I'm like, well, I mean, it's how you use it. I was like, what the hell? They're trying to defend the fact of how they say the N-word. Or the best, you know what the best is? They're like, I do have a black friend, and I end up being that black friend. Like they're like, yeah, I have a black friend. And then I end up being the black friend, even though I'm mixed. Even though I told people when they see my mom, she's Filipino. Like how? I don't know, man. There's no education. There's no like, you know, nothing. There's nothing really that's standardized. Nothing. There's nothing like that. There's nothing. There's no education yet. There's nothing really that infected the minds or the brains of people to say like, okay, you know, maybe this person is mixed. Maybe this person is biracial. You know, there's nothing like that. Nothing. You're either white, you're either black, or you're this, you're either that. It's just easy. It's easy just to label people. I don't know. I can go on and on and on about it, but again. Oh my God. Oh, Cash, what's up? What the fuck? I just realized I never seen you without a hat. I know, I'm bald. I'm a bald man. I'm a bald dude. Welcome in, Cash. Welcome in. Even 20 years ago, it was different. I think now kids are in a better space, because there are so many mixed race kids. Exactly, Yams. You got it. Poison says, we argue about the most trivial things. It's astonishing. Yeah, it's true. Miss Yam says, you got to understand that for years, anyone who talked proper were considered not black enough, but the tide is changing, and now it's frowned upon as much as it was 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Joe says, you don't change yourself for people to like you. I respect that. I know that. Hey, Joe, I go, look, listen, on Twitch, I stick by my guns. If I like to stream something, if I want to stream something, I stream it. Like if I want to stream just single player games and want to be lost in them, that's what I'm going to do. You know, the only time I'll ever play multiplayer is if I get an overwhelming, like, come on, Titan, come on. And I'll probably dedicate 1 or 2 days a year, 1 or 2 days a year to just multiplayer. I plan on doing that in September, though. September is going to be my multiplayer. I'm going to dedicate 1 day in September just to multiplayer games. You know, PvP. All right, you heard it here. Oh yeah, cuz Ziam says I used to get talked about heavy because of the fact that I talked proper, which was crazy because I was just talking correctly. Yeah, right. It's one of those things where, like, you know, that, I mean, like, I'm just gonna talk to you like I'm talking right now. I'm not gonna, you know, throw in something like maybe I'll throw in like a y'all. Maybe I'll throw in like a y'all crazy, or y'all do this, or, you know, but I'm not gonna go all, you know, all slang with it. You know, that's just not me. That's not me. And I used to do that when I was in high school, trying to freestyle. You know, I freestyle terribly, by the way. But yeah, you know, just talk how you talk. And if people make fun of you for it, get those people out of your life. Like, don't even bother talking to those people again. You know, cut them out. I know it's harder in high school because you want to fit in, but as you get older, as soon as high school ends, are those same people going to be with you when high school ends, or going to be there for you when you're at your lowest point in your life? No. You know, especially me, I learned not to, I'm trying not to try to impress people that don't give a fuck about you, that don't care about you. You only try to impress them so that you get like a little bit of clout, you get a little bit of respect. That's it. But deep down, they hate you. They may respect you now, but they're thinking about ways to put you down. Because if they were trying to bring you up, they would have brought you up from the very beginning, not try to put you down from the very beginning. You know, I've met so many of those people, so many of those people who try to look good in front of other people by putting you down, which is wrong. And I'm 35 years old now. So again, all that shit, all that adversity, you learn from it and you allow it to become your better self. All right. Cuz says people would use my friendship as I have a diverse friends card. Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. Cuz says, and don't get me started when something generally Asian was brought up and they say things like, "Oh, it's your favorite so-and-so." And I'm like, that's not even part of my culture. You know what the best thing is? Is when people think I'm like from Africa or something, you know, like, or they're trying to get to know you, or trying to, like, you know, trying to find something that's like they can relate to. You know, it's like, I've been to Africa before. I've been to Jamaica before. And I'm like, my dad is from Trinidad, and I've never been to Trinidad. You know, growing up without a dad sucks. And growing up without a father, it is terrible. I mean, especially my dad, who was from Trinidad, Tobago. I didn't know nothing of my Trinidad roots. Like, the only Trinidad roots that I know are, you know, are my father's side of my family. And when they invite me to go to like Caribbean events, like Caravana, for example. Caravana in Toronto. I don't know if you've heard about Caravana in Toronto. Where are my Canadians at here? Caravana is in Toronto. That was my thing. I thought, oh man, when I went to Caravana in Toronto back when I was in high school and college. Oh my god. It's literally a dream. And I felt as though I fit in there. Like no one was like looking at me weird. Everybody was like, people thought that I looked Trinidadian, you know, well, maybe a black Trinidadian. You know, when you just walk into a place or you walk somewhere and people don't give you looks, they give you like a good nod or something that you feel like you're accepted. Even though I didn't feel close to the culture at all, I felt as though I was just having fun. I was just having fun in the parade, you know, grinding up with some girls. It was great. It was great. Dancing with girls. It was fantastic. Great time. One of my favorite parts of, my late high school and early college years. It was great. It was great. Mombi! Think of it, hydrate. Mombi. Thank you. Have you been, Miss Yams, to like a caravana, like a fete, or like a parade? Holy, I've never been to Trinidad, but I would love to go to a caravana parade in Trinidad. Apparently they do it for a week. 1 week of just pure partying in Trinidad. So, you been to one in DC? It was wild. Yeah, it's always wild. It's always wild. The one in Toronto is crazy. I swear, a lot of people from the States come up. A lot of people from New York. We get a lot of Americans up here. When it's caravana time, oh man, a lot of Americans just run up here just for the women. It's like half naked women. It's like a sea of half naked women everywhere. Oh man, it's a heterosexual's dream. Like I'm telling you, if you're a horny Caribbean man, Caravana is the place to go, man. Oh my god. Shit, you're thinking about moving to Canada? Oh? Lots of hips and ass moving? Exactly. Lots of twerking. Tons of twerking. Oh, not for the women? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you're good where you are, Mombi. I'm pretty sure the States is fine. I could not even think about wearing some of the outfits. Hey, there's some thick women. Like, I'm talking thick women wearing like nothing. They're like owning it. They were owning it. And hey, you know what? They do them. Like some of them, it was too much. But hey, the guys are not complaining. The men are not complaining. I don't think a lot of men are complaining. They don't care. I think it's more the women are complaining. You're joking, right? Or am I joking? No, I'm not joking. Well, I know who I ain't seeing when I go to Canada. Wow, Mombi. Wow. Come on now. You're gonna do me like that? You're gonna do me like that? Well, don't worry. You don't have to see me. You can see my niece Nemo. Okay. You can go see Nemo. All right, you can go see my niece. You gonna send him? Oh man. Well, yeah, Mombi, I'm just talking about my life as a Blasian, growing up mixed, and cuz if you're still in here, I would love to do like a co-stream sometime, talking about like various things, growing up. I want to get in contact with a lot of Blasians on here, Mango, Pearl Tees. If anybody else, I'll invite anybody else. Like, doesn't matter if you're Blasian or not. Like, just talk about, growing up mixed race. 100%. We'll make something happen in the future. Because to me, this is important. It's so important to me. And oh, by the way, if you have not watched this documentary already, it's called Left by the Ship. Iniwan ng Barko. in Tagalog. But if you have not watched this documentary, I'm gonna play the trailer again. I don't know if y'all seen the trailer, but let me play the trailer again because this trailer, like, I highly recommend this documentary. I highly recommend this documentary. It's about this Navy ship. All these Navy ships
Subic
came
Bay, the
in
Philippines,
US.
was a sexual
literally
playground
came
where
on
American
the
sailors
mainland
and
to,
GIs could buy themselves
have
a
fun
so-called entertainment
and
girl
have sex with all
for
these women.
under $10.
This was a fishing village that
They
became a brothel.
got them pregnant. Some of them got pregnant, and
Galing ako ng probinsya sa Kapulugan sa
there's a lot of
14 years old
Amerasian
ako
kids. And the
Kasi
documentary
parang
itself
asawa ka ng
really,
alagaan mo yung paglulutuan mo,
really got me
pagsisilbihan mo.
when I watched it. When I
parang
watched it in
gano'n.
full.
Tuwing darating siya, ako ang nagiging babae niya.
I mean, this happened for 50 years, by the way. This shit happened for 50
Anytime there's
years.
any military presence
50 years.
stationed at one point, they are human beings. They're going to get their biological urges. Children get left
I mean, it's
behind.
crazy.
That's just a fact of life.
And like the kids,
Kasi po
I felt
nung
bad
iniwan ako
for
ng father ko,
that could have been
5 years
me.
old na po ako yun.
This shit could have been me. That guy could have been me.
Ilabas mo yung sama ng loob mo sa akin. Hindi yung kinikim-kim
You
mo
know,
palagi,
having problems
ayaw
with
mo
the-
magsalita.
with-
Palagi ka nagwawala paglasing ka.
Man,
Sabihin mo
that
sa akin
guy
ngayon.
A child
literally was
born,
me when I was a teenager.
all right? If he hasn't become a citizen by his
Like growing up
18th
without a
birthday,
father.
okay, his father.
And look at all these half
Lahat ginawa
mixed kids.
ko para mapaganda ang buhay mo.
Oh,
Nung nasa elementary ako, hindi ako pinapayagan sumali sa parties o kaya sa contest, sa mga games. Kasi nga sa kulay ko, sa ayos ng buhok ko.
crazy. Cause this hurt me. This kid says he's ugly. No, because other kids told him that he's ugly, which is not true. And I can only imagine growing up as a female. Oh my god, I was explaining earlier. I was like telling people earlier. I was saying earlier that growing up, mixed race, and the hair, taking care of your hair.
And he just never
That's
got
why I'm
around
constantly
to making a
bald.
citizen, which is a shame, you know. And that's,
Taking
that's
care
his
of
fault.
your hair as a mixed race person is just, it's
Hindi
different.
ang daddy mo.
Yeah, he wants to talk to you very much. Here you go. Here's your son.
Man. Okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert here. Spoiler alert. Okay, spoiler alert. All right, this scene right here. This scene right here. When he talks to his dad doesn't believe that this is his kid. Cuz it's been so long. It's been so long. I was just like, oh man. And he doesn't even really want him. He doesn't really care for him. Doesn't really want to bring him from Philippines to the States. I highly recommend the full documentary. I just watch the full documentary. Iniwan ng Barko. All right, on YouTube. And let me know. Let me know what you think. Because this shit right here, it got me.
When you
It
close
got
your
me.
eyes, can you still go back to
It
that
got me.
place a world away?
It got me. It got me. Like,
States closed its military base.
okay, let me play the beginning here. I'll play the beginning here.
Welcome to Independent Lens. I'm Mary Louise Parker. In 1992, the United States closed its military bases in the Philippines. We packed up and sailed away, but left something behind.
Yep.
Over 50,000 children, all fathered by American servicemen. 20 years
50,000!
later, their faces,
50!
reflections of
50,000! 50,000! I know that's like a little bit. That's a lot, though. Compared to the whole population of the Philippines, but that's still a lot. 50,000? Man. These dudes were cream pieing all these Filipino women like crazy. They didn't give a fuck about condoms. Condoms? What? They were going raw. 50,000?
their fathers, bring them discrimination at home. But the U.S. won't claim them either.
Do we want to know about citizenship?
If he hasn't become a citizen, okay, his father don't want him, okay?
That's
so
the
they
thing.
patched together.
That's the thing. If the father does not want him, if the father doesn't want the kid, he cannot be a citizen. He can't apply to be an American citizen. Only kids from Vietnam can do that, or who are like, you know, the kids who are born from Americans who are, you know, from Vietnam. Only the kids from Vietnam. Only the half American, half Vietnam kids can do that. Not half Korean, not half Filipino, not half Chinese, none of that. Only the kids from Vietnam can do that.
Way of life between two worlds.
Like,
independent
it's called the
filmmakers
Amerasian Act.
Emma Rossi Landi and Alberto Vendemiati share the journey of three Amerasians, each life defined by a search
hers is
for
tragic,
identity.
man.
For some, it's about redemption. For others, it's about connection. For all of them, it's about taking a stand, even when you can't feel your roots. Left by the ship. Next.
Man, that hurt me, man. That hurt me. Oh, I highly recommend the full documentary. Oh my God. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend the full documentary. Because I recommend this. I know I want to fight someone after I watch this. I know. It really got to me because it made me feel like I could have been in that situation. I could have grew up in poverty. You know, I could have grew up how they grew up. I could have gone through a totally different adversity. I could have grew up totally different. But as a Blasian, you know, as someone who, not even just a Blasian, as anybody who is born, you can't control the situation you were born into. You can't. You can't control the parents that you have. You can't control it. You can't choose who your mom is, who your dad is. You can't choose the environment that you are raised up in, that you started out as a child. Your environment is your environment, and you have to deal with the adversities that come with it. At the end of the day, but as a Blasian, as someone who grew up biracial, mixed race, whatever you like to call it, I always say this all the time. Learning from your past adversities allow you to become your future self. I've been through it. I made mistakes. I've been bullied, been hurt, felt pain, felt happiness. All those things allow you to become the person that you are today. And damn right, if I ever have a kid, if I ever have a child, son, daughter, despite the relationship that I have with the baby's mother, I'm going to still be in that child's life. 100%. 100%. Because that child doesn't deserve what I went through. No way. No way. Oh, True X. Oh, don't worry about it. You watch the VOD. Watch the VOD. We are coming up on time, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching episode 2 of the Blasian Titan Nation podcast. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody who stopped in. Jane, Cuz, Miss Yams, Truex Storm, Poison, Mombi. All you are amazing. Joe, like Arctic, all of you, Tidy Whiteys, Ray, Maury, Jen, all of you are amazing. All of you are amazing. Thank you very much. I'll be back next Monday. And thank you, cuz I'll be back next Monday with another episode of Blasian Titan Nation podcast. But before I go, shall we do a quick poll? Shall we do a quick poll? Let's see. Wait, what the? It didn't even. What? No, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna choose the next one. I'm gonna choose the next one because I don't want ads to be. The podcasts are excited for the next one. Okay, we'll see you Friday. Yes, Friday. I'll be doing Rise of the Ronin. All right, this Friday, I'll be doing Rise of the Ronin. I would do another poll, but I don't want ads to start because I want to rate out before ads. So, what do y'all think? What do you think I should do? A sex podcast next, or a positivity podcast, gaming podcast, or a food podcast? Yo, what's up, Andrew? I'm snoozing these ads, man. I'm snoozing them. Food? Do a sex podcast next? Okay. Hold on. I snooze ads. Hold on. Let's put it to a vote. Okay. So, let's do this. Let's do boom. All right. Let me know if you can see it. Let me know if it's visible. So, 1 for sex, 2 for food, 3 for positivity, and 4 for gaming. All right, let me know. Should I just do a sex podcast? 2 is food. Oh, it's gonna be. I think it'll be up between food or sex. I think it'll be like a either food or sex. Food, cuz? All right. As y'all vote, I'm gonna figure out who we're gonna raid. Let's see if my raid target is still alive. Where are you? What the hell? Oh, I know who we're gonna raid. I know who we are going to raid. Cuz, stay for this raid. You're gonna love her. You're gonna love this woman. All right. So next podcast, I'll talk about food. Alrighty. We'll finish that poll. Sorry, Truex. Stay for this raid, cuz you're gonna love her. We're gonna raid just Pearl Tees. All right. Let me get this raid going so that the ads won't just randomly pop up. Alrighty. But again, I appreciate everybody for being here. Oh, where are you? Pearl. There you are. Boom. All right, let's go say hi to Pearl. All right, she's awesome. She's amazing. Another Blasian. Another Blasian, cuz you would love her. You are going to love her. Alrighty. Thank you very much, everybody, again, for this awesome podcast. I appreciate everyone for being here. Raid 1 if you are not subscribed, and Raid 2 if you are. Okay. Let's go say hi to another Blasian beauty, to the Blasian fam. I'll be back this Friday with more Rise of the Ronin. And next week, we're going to do a food podcast. All right? Episode 3 of the Blasian Titan Nation podcast will be about food. And the main food that I'm going to eat, or I'm going to talk about, is noodles. All right? We're going to do pure noodles. Pure nudes. All right? Thank you very much, everyone. Always spread that love and positivity. Take care and have a great night. And I'll see you on Friday. Or I'll see you next week on Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye.